Digital brain fog isn't a single disease. It's a cluster of experiences: difficulty sustaining attention, muddled thinking, shallow memory for recent events, and an emotional flattening or irritability after heavy device use. It matters because it corrodes everyday functioning. Reading an email becomes exhausting. Talking with your partner feels halting. Work stretches out, and you end the day feeling drained. What follows is a map: 4 core mechanisms that neuroscientists are now reliably linking to heavy, fragmented digital exposure, and a set of interventions that target each mechanism. My promise is straightforward. You will understand the why, and you'll leave with small, testable steps you can try immediately. Have you ever sat down to read a paragraph and found yourself rereading the first line without understanding it? Or walked into the kitchen and stood there, blank, wondering why you came in at all? I see that look on people's faces every week in my clinic and in workshops. A kind of mental static that makes ordinary tasks feel like climbing a hill. Today, I want to name what many of you are feeling: digital brain fog, explain what's happening in the brain, and give you practical, small experiments to begin clearing that fog. Attention residues. Imagine your mind as a desk, and every task you touch leaves a sticky note. Even after you switch apps or close a tab, those sticky notes remain. Attention residues are the mental tabs left open after you switch tasks. Leftover thoughts, half-finished plans, the "I must reply to that message" hum. Neurologically, this is the brain's difficulty fully disengaging from one goal and reorienting to another. Behaviorally, it looks like rereading sentences, losing the thread mid-conversation, or flitting between windows without finishing anything. I remember a young teacher I worked with. She would stand over her student's desk with coffee in hand, saying, "I know I'm here, but my mind is on a message I haven't answered." The sensory detail sticks with me: the faint clink of ceramic, the screen glow reflecting on her cheek, the restless tapping of a thumbnail on the table. Attention residues erode depth. The cure is not willpower alone, but designed transitions and limits. Dopamine dysregulation. Think of modern apps as candy dispensers for a brain built to learn from rare, meaningful rewards. Every small like, every brief scroll is a tiny reward that triggers a dopamine spike. Over time, those micro rewards train a habit of seeking quick, shallow hits instead of investing in slower, larger rewards. In the moment, you feel alert and on, but what follows is often a hollow fatigue. I picture a snack table of tiny, irresistible morsels that keep you grazing through the afternoon instead of sitting down to a full, nourishing meal. An example: a parent juggling a work call and a child's homework finds themselves repeatedly checking feeds. Each check feels briefly satisfying, but by evening, they report feeling both wired and sluggish. Pleasant short hits coupled with deeper depletion. Default mode network disruption. The default mode network is the brain's background engine. It's where you daydream, consolidate memories, and process emotions. Heavy, fragmented screen use interrupts this offline processing. If you never give the brain time to wander safely, it can't stitch together experience into coherent memory and meaning. Practically, the result is that events slide through you like water, without the sense-making that turns experience into learning. I once described it to a client as walking through a foggy morning. Colors exist, shapes are hinted at, but nothing anchors. The brain needs offline pockets, times when you aren't consuming, but simply letting your mind reprocess, to cement learning and restore perspective. Prefrontal cortex overload. Your prefrontal cortex is the executive office, planning, inhibiting impulses, holding items in mental working memory. It is a limited fuel tank. When you constantly switch tasks, manage many small decisions about notifications, and operate on short cycles of checking and replying, you burn through that fuel. Decision fatigue, irritability, and poor planning are signs the tank is low. I'll never forget a software developer who came in, eyes tired, hands stained with coffee, who said, "I used to be the person people came to for planning. Now I miss deadlines because I forget the steps." That is exhaustion of executive capacity, not character failure. So what do we do about it? The interventions I'll offer are grounded in how the brain works. They stop unnecessary drains, restore offline processing, and retrain attention. Importantly, these are experiments, small, reversible, measurable. Try one at a time and notice what changes. Digital boundaries are the scaffolding. Set clear windows for deep work and windows for low-focus tasks. For instance, try 2 90-minute blocks of focused work in the morning and one in the afternoon, with strict rules, no social apps open. Use a physical phone station away from your desk during deep work. Start with 10 minutes of protected focus and gradually expand. For families, negotiate phone-free dinner or homework time. Explain the reason, set a simple rule, phones in a basket, and test for a week. Boundaries reduce attention residues because they limit the number of mental tabs you create. Attention training and focused intervals rebuild capacity. Use structured intervals like 25 to 50 minutes of focused work followed by a 5 to 10-minute break. The rhythm matters because it gives the prefrontal cortex predictable rests. In those breaks, do something physically different. Stand, stretch, smell your coffee, look out a window. Mindfulness practices, even 5 minutes a day, help you notice when your mind has wandered and gently bring it back. This trains the muscle of sustained attention. Think of it as strength training for focus. Small, consistent sessions strengthen control without burning out. Notification triage is about reducing dopamine micro-rewards and constant interruptions. Audit your apps. Which notifications are essential? Turn off non-essential alerts, social media likes, promotional emails, game pings. Set email checks to 2 or 3 times a day rather than constant monitoring. For critical contacts, use priority settings or a dedicated VIP list. The first day, this feels strange. By day 3, you'll notice fewer spikes of reactive emotion and more sustained calm. Transition rituals help your brain close one context and open another. Before switching from work to home, do a brief ritual. Close your laptop, take 3 deep breaths, write 1 sentence about what you accomplished, and change into comfortable clothes. That ritual signals to your brain that one mode is finished and another begins, reducing attention residues and giving space for the default mode network to engage. Similarly, before starting a focused work session, do a 2-minute ritual. Tidy your desk, set a timer, and read your next task aloud. Those small cues help the prefrontal cortex allocate its fuel more efficiently. Combine these strategies slowly. Start with a single 2-week experiment. Choose 1 boundary, 1 attention training routine, and 1 notification change. Track it. Keep a simple log: what you intended, what you did, and 1 measurable outcome. Did you get through an email in 1 sitting without distraction? Did you read a chapter without rereading the first page? These are the signals of improvement. I always validate the hard truth. Change takes time, and for some people, digital exposure compounds underlying mental health problems. If your concentration problems are accompanied by persistent low mood, an inability to function, harmful thoughts, or you're feeling overwhelmed to the point of crisis, please seek professional help. Your clinician can work with you to differentiate what is reversible with behavioral change and what requires clinical treatment. Let me tell you a brief exchange to make this real. A freelance writer named Miguel came to a workshop and said, "I'm ashamed. I sit down to write and stare at the blinking cursor until noon." I asked, "What happens when a notification pings?" He laughed a little and said, "It's like a horn in a quiet room. I have to check." We designed a 1-week plan. Miguel removed social apps from his phone for work hours, used 45-minute focus blocks, and built a 10-second ritual to close his laptop and walk to refill his mug between blocks. By day 5, he reported deeper paragraphs and fewer blank stares. The sounds I remember, the quiet refill of his mug, the warm steam on his hand, are small sensory anchors for new habits. When you put these pieces together, boundaries, focused intervals, notification triage, transition rituals, you're not trying to become a superhuman. You're repairing a system designed to do hard, meaningful work. The brain is plastic. With consistent, modest practices, attention stabilizes, memory consolidates more reliably, and mood tends to even out because you experience fewer reactive spikes. That increase in resilience shows up as more reliable focus, calmer evenings, and tasks that feel manageable again. If you're ready to start, try this tiny experiment today. Choose 1 hour this afternoon and protect it. Phone out of reach, only one browser tab, timer set for 45 minutes. Notice what happens. If it's too hard, shorten to 20 minutes. The wins are small but cumulative. Thank you for trusting me with this time. If this was helpful, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next segment where we'll dive into memory, how digital habits fragment encoding, and practical exercises to strengthen recall and reduce digital fatigue. I'll also share a week-long practice you can try to support memory circuits and attention. Take one small step today and let me know what you observed. See you soon.